Pick one more card. Oh, the hierophant. So the hierophant, it represents like a teacher, or neither you're supposed to be someone's coming in your life going to be like a teacher, or you need to be a teacher in someone else's life. So it's having some knowledge of something, someone having knowledge of something and teaching. I'm gonna look up more meanings. This is an interesting one. All right. So the hierophant, it represents you and a teacher. It represents spirituality, maybe like a pope, a priest, a shaman, and just represents someone like teaching you something, probably someone who follows traditions, and at this time, it's in your life. If you pull this card, it might be calling you to follow along with the traditions of whatever it is you believe in. I'm gonna look up the word. So bringing order to chaos is, I guess, the hierophant's thing. So the gray pillars, like in the high priestess, it's a black and white pillar. So in here, with the pillars being gray, shows knowledge and wisdom. To me, it would be like balance, because I guess it being black and white represents the duality, but when it's gray, then I guess it's like, the balance of it, so. Which I guess if it comes up black and white, I guess it also is balance. Like it represents the duality, but I guess the gray, it means like it comes together. At the bottom, there's keys. Usually keys represent like the holder of a gateway. I can think of like Elegba. He's like a key holder, and he opens up keys to different paths. So, and it could be like he has the key to, like, he is the teacher, so he may be able to open up your consciousness to something new. Then there's also two men down by his feet, and they have on robes, and one robe has roses and one robe has lilies. And now what I understand in the magician, roses meant masculine and lilies meant feminine, but it could just be robes of like two different people coming with two different beliefs, coming for knowledge from the hierophant. And so him also representing traditions, like, I guess it's necessary, like with that coming in, like creating order out of chaos. I think traditions help with that. Like, I guess things can't be too chaotic, or so, but there is a need for a little bit of chaos, but then once you also creating order out of it. So traditions, like, do the traditions you were raised up with, or traditions that you've taken on. With me, is my art. It tends to be like the one thing that I consistently do in my life now, where I feel like it's part of my spirituality. I don't really go to church. I wasn't really brought up in church either, but we were brought up to believe in the Bible and God, and that was a big part of my life. And as much as I try to get away from it, I still would think that it does play a big part. Schooling, or your job, I think it's like kind of like traditions, or being a part of an organization. Okay, I'm gonna bring it to an end. So the hierophant, like a teacher, maybe like tradition. It doesn't necessarily have to mean the church, but it's giving you that kind of feel. And anything that, like, I don't know if everybody's experience of being in church, but church really follows like strict traditions and ceremony, and it's really set up in a way where it's really structured. And so anything that kind of resembles that, this person coming along and being that, to, I guess, help you structure things, with excuse me, with it reversed, it makes me think of someone who's breaking out of the traditions, breaking out of the status quo, going to the beat of their own drum, and questioning organizations and systems that are in place like this or like that, to do something, to bring something new into existence, or just to be whoever they feel they called to be. So today I also pulled the Eight of Swords, and then I pulled this, and based on how I was feeling this morning, I think they really go well with my mood this morning, and also from last night, because last night it rained, and I had went underneath this building, and honestly I did get really comfortable, and I could have dozed off if I was allowed, but I wasn't going to, or I was expecting someone to wake me up, because I was underneath this like really fancy looking building. So eventually this guy did wake me up and told me I had to leave, and I had asked him, I said, could I just stay here until it stops raining? And the rain was calming down, but it was still coming down to an extent, like it was still drizzling. And he said he made jokes, and he was a security guard, and so it made me think like, yeah, following the rules, and this was a really good spot for coverage, because even other spots that had coverage, it still was wet, but this spot, it wasn't wet, it was dry. And I just asked, could I stay here until the rain stopped? And he said that this was a federal building, and that you have to go before the police come, because then they'll tase you. So he was trying to be light about it, but it was really like annoying. If he would just been like, well, I'm sorry, it's my job, you have to go. But I guess playing about me getting tased was like trying to make humor of the situation. And I just thought like, damn, like, it's a federal building. And I get like, you don't want homeless people, I guess, like stacking up underneath the building or whatever, but it just made me think of like how the system is just like, these traditions and this society we're in is just so like so cold, and just so like, no, you can't be here because it's federal, and then the police will come and they'll tase you for like trying to like just get out of the rain. And so eventually I left, and I went to like my normal spot, because it also has like some coverage, but I wasn't sure if it was going to be that dry there. But it just made me like I don't know, like I feel like I'm this person, like I want to go against the system, but sometimes that feels so alienating. But when things like that happen, it makes me realize like how I don't want to be a part of the system, because I just feel like I would hate. I was a security guard at one point, and I had to like call in on homeless people too for like laying down in front of the building. If they weren't laying in front of the door, it was okay, but if they were laying down beside the door, then if they were laying in front of the door, I had to do something about it. But if they were laying beside the door, like a little bit down the block against the building, then technically they had right to be there. But sometimes the tenant would want me to take further action because they didn't like the fact that they were sleeping on the side of the building. And it usually was very like temporary. Like they weren't going to stay that long, but you know, for what they saw was like they were there and they just wanted them to be moved. And I would do as much as I could and not really think too much of it. I would think like, oh, this is my job, so I have to do it. But, you know, then when the tables are turning and it happens to me, I was just thinking like, damn, that's so fucked up. It's like, the only reason I'm here is because of the rain. So anyway, just, so yeah, to pull this card today and to also pull the 8 of Swords, it really resonates with me because the 8 of Swords is talking about feeling stuck in a victim mentality. And so this morning when I woke up, those things were still on my mind, and I was just thinking like, you know, everybody's going along with this system we're in, this like tradition, and I'm feeling like I'm the only one against it, but I'm not. And that's what I liked about Rainbow, because I met so many other people who were outside of the norm and like, you know, in their own way. So it lets me like, it's other people out there fighting, but I'm not around them. And even if I was around them, I tend to be a little bit of a like on my own thing anyway. So just knowing they're there, it is nice, but it's not like I resonate with them that well. Like I resonate with them, but I also like to, you know, do my own thing. So yeah, being out here and feeling like I was all alone, and so I was taking up all this like everybody, the world is against me almost. Not too harshly, but it was there. And then I pulled these cards today, and I'm just like, yeah, I gotta keep going and doing my thing. And like, yeah, I guess if it is about following traditions, like I guess following my own traditions and doing my own practice and my own discipline, but then also be this person as well, because the majority and the bigger picture is like a bigger control that people fall into, and I don't want to be that. And people have good reasons for why they go along with it. I think of like healthcare and all this stuff. Like, I guess people need systems. I definitely agree, but it is also like maybe a little bit too much, and you just like, I gotta like, I don't know, I just feel very stagnant and just trapped when it's just like I gotta just go along. Especially, I'll never work for anybody again. I'd rather die, but I would rather figure out better ways to exist in the world being this person than like strictly like this person, like, because it's like I've been there, done that, and I don't want to go back to that. So anyway, maybe I'm like misinterpreting it, or taking it too far off into another direction. But it just, if it is for me and I pulled it today, I would think that's what it represents. Because yesterday the cards were really cool. But anyway, have a good one. All right, bye.